isn't life grand? The constant cycle of waking up, going to work, going to bed, only to wake up again, and so on until the end of time. You don't need to stay on that constant hamster wheel of monotony day in and day out until your days are done. Instead, spice up your life with some hobbies. In all honesty, I can't even fathom people not having hobbies, so if you're one of them, I don't know how you do it. I suppose you're busy with life. If you are looking for a hobby, there are all kinds of hobbies to try. There are sports, art, gardening, cooking, baking, sewing, fashion. The list goes on and on. Almost anything could be a hobby, except for work, of course. If you're not sure what kind of hobby you want to do, let me show you 4 of my favorite hobbies, or at least 3 old hobbies and 1 new one, and let's see if it can spark some ideas for you. You may be wondering, why is it so important to have hobbies? Well, hobbies can help you learn new things, expand your horizons, add variety to your life, and just make your life better. I am currently in my studio / craft room / Lego construction room. I'm just going to show you what I have in here. This isn't where I do all of my hobbies, but it is where I do some of them. One hobby you may see a lot of on my channel is drawing. Drawing is a relatively new hobby for me. I have been doing it for about 3 or 4 years now. I've always wanted to be an artist. I believe I talked about this on another video, so you'll just have to find that video in my collection. I really do enjoy it, and I plan to continue it for a very long time. I do have a shop, and if you sign up for my mailing list, you can get 15% off. Shameless plug there. Here is an example of a couple of my prints. Now in this room, along with drawing, I also have a place to put my Lego sets together. Here is one of them that I'm currently working on. This is Rivendell. So drawing and Lego making aren't a couple of the hobbies that I'm going to highlight, but they are quite important in my life. The Lego building isn't quite as extensive as some people, like my sister, for example, but I do have a fairly good collection, and I also do like buying the expensive big sets. The struggle is where to put them. So the first hobby I want to talk to you about is crochet. Unfortunately, I have been taking a sabbatical from my crochet due to this little guy here. I got Indy back in September, so it's been almost a year since I've crocheted. The reason why I haven't is because I think he's part cat, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be going after the yarn. However, I did treat myself to some woobles. Not sponsored, by the way. I am an advanced crocheter, but in order to get back into it, I do want to do something easy. And this particular Barbie wooble comes with a Barbie crochet hook, and after all my years of crocheting, I think I have earned it. I will keep you all updated in my community as I make them. I really need to get started. I haven't done that yet. Maybe soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Going back to crocheting, I have been crocheting for as long as I can remember. I used to say that I started crocheting around 7 years old. I have no idea when my mom actually taught me, but I took to crocheting way better than I took to knitting. Knitting, you just have to pay too much attention, and there's too much attention to detail, so that just was not for me, especially young, short attention Tiffany back when I was less than 10 years old. So anyway, I don't have any crochet in here. I don't normally crochet in here, and most of my crochet I've either sold or given away. But let me take you up to my spare bedroom and I'll show you some of the Afghans that I've crocheted. Alright, let's head upstairs. I have a couple hobbies I wanted to show you up there. One in addition to my Afghans that I've crocheted. Let's head up there. Alright, one quick pit stop. This is where I normally crochet. The good old couch in front of the good old television. Let's keep going. Have to dodge the puppy. All right. I think Indy likes being on camera. What do you think? Moving on. Look who's in here! The resident camera hog. Alright, I had to banish Indy. He was just too much. Like I said, I think he's part cat, honestly. So anyway, here are some Afghans that I made. Turns out some people, or most people, can only have so many Afghans, including myself. But anyway, I just want to show you some of them I made. So this particular one is a waffle weave with the rainbow yarn. I thought that was pretty cool. These aren't exactly too creative or anything. These are when I was following instructions. Toward the end, I'd start with instructions and then I decide I could do it so much better. But with Afghans, you kind of have to follow. So this is one of the first ones that I made. This is a double-sided one. I actually made this in college. You can see it better. I really like the chevron. Like I said, it's double-sided. This side has more orange. Again, it's variegated, so it kind of is the same on both sides. The ever-important granny square Afghan. So these are little granny squares. What I liked about this though is the wide border that it has. So it's got a border like an granny square, but it's like the whole thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, if you want to see other things I've made, such as the amigurumi, aka the stuffed animals, I do have another video about inspiration where I show you some of them that I had made to sell, but I actually hadn't sold, so I'm actually going to start drawing some of them. So you can check out that video. I will link it in the description so you can check it out. Let's move on to my oldest hobby ever that I can't even remember starting. So my hobby that I don't even remember starting is reading. I have loved to read my whole life. For most of my life, I had a book in my hand. One summer, I checked out a whole ton of American Girl books from the library. My mom said I better read them all, otherwise I couldn't check out anymore. And I read every single one of them. Of course it was Samantha, I think it was, because she was a rich girl and I wanted to be a rich girl who lived in the city. But anyway, again, I can't remember exactly when I started reading. I know I was taught how to read in the first grade. So anyway, I don't know when my love affair with reading started. However, after college, I kind of stopped reading for quite a while. And also, when I got my first dog, Dinky, there just wasn't time to read because I had to watch him like a hawk. However, one summer I went to Barnes & Noble and I saw And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and that just started a whole new reading. I would say Agatha Christie is my favorite author. I have a whole shelf devoted to her. I absolutely love her books. I love mystery. I love how it's not necessarily innocent, but the throwback to the old times, which were her current times, weirdly enough, but not that weirdly, I guess. But I just love the whole atmosphere of her books. It really is, I just love it. I don't know how else to describe it. I love being immersed in her worlds and how her people think. Sometimes they can be predictable, but like And Then There Were None, it isn't predictable at all unless you've seen it before. So if you're looking to start with a good mystery novel, I very much recommend And Then There Were None. So throughout my reading, I've actually started branching out into nonfiction, going into subjects that interest me or I want to learn more about. I have accumulated a lot of books. I also check out a ton of books from the library as well. I have a pretty good library here in town. Even before the pandemic, I kind of got to be because people don't take care of books. It's so frustrating. I don't want to look at or read a book that has stains and smells like smoke. So thankfully I got a Kindle. I am not a snob either way. If I think it's a book that more than me would just like to read, I normally buy the physical copy. So that's how I've accumulated these. Some of them I just want the physical copy. We will move down a little bit further and I will show you my massive to read pile. So I'm at a very flattering camera angle on my knees to show you my massive to read stacks. So in here I have a Choose Your Own Adventure book. 80s kids remember these. This was a Stranger Things one I found at Target, so of course I had to get it. I have 4 Agatha Christie books. There's a book on Christian Dior. There's a book on RBG, on Jackie Kennedy Onassis. I have a variety of books here. One that I recently got that is next on my to read list is Miss Dior. I did not realize she was part of the Resistance, and honestly, I didn't really know anything about her. The reason why I decided to buy this book and Christian Dior book is because of the Apple TV series, The New Look. I have always loved fashion. Obviously, I haven't gone into fashion or continued it through my life. But anyway, I found it very fascinating and I wanted to learn more. So I bought books. So one thing that I love about books is even an introverted hermit like myself can see the world, expand her horizons, see things from other people's perspective right here in her own home. You just can't replace it, except for, I suppose, actually traveling. But if you don't have the means or the personality or whatever to do it, books are a great way to see the world. Alright, so we are going from my oldest hobby to my newest hobby, which is making YouTube videos. Now I will say, I've only started a couple months ago and I'm still very new to it. I obviously am not the best at it, but that's a good thing about hobbies. You don't have to be the best, you just have to have fun doing it. Also, if you're not the best, the only way you can go is up. So think of all the new skills you learn. For example, for YouTube videos, I'm learning camera angles, I'm learning editing, music, color grading. Color grading is a big thing that I need to work on, I'm very interested in. So think of all the new skills that you learn when you start new hobbies. And even if you never get very good at it, which maybe I won't with these, who knows, maybe only 10 people will ever watch these videos. But the great thing is all the new skills that you acquire, all the new brain cells and connections and all those other great things that you hear about with new skills. Maybe I'll stay 42 forever. Who knows? Or I'll get younger. I'll be like Benjamin Button. Is that right? I don't know, I haven't read that book. This one book I haven't read. But anyway, learning new skills or even just having a hobby where you just plain aren't very good at it at all is perfectly fine. You don't have to be the best at everything. You don't have to monetize everything. It's always nice to make extra money, but you don't always have to. Sometimes you can just do it for the fun of it, and sometimes it's almost better. So I hope I have given a good argument for why it's important to make time for hobbies. I am a single person though, so I can't exactly help with finding time with a family, with all kinds of extracurricular activities. You'll have to find another video for that. But I do find that hobbies are very important. Even if you could only read, for example, for 5 minutes a day, that still is giving time to yourself. So if you want to support my other hobby, which I am trying to turn into a business, which is drawing, I do have a shop, as I mentioned before. I also have a mailing list where you can get 15% off your first order, and also 3 fairly cool gnome phone backgrounds, which is pretty cool. And also you can check me out on my Instagram where you can see more real-time updates of what I'm currently working on. If you have watched the end of this video, thank you so much. I don't know that many people do, so if you have, I really appreciate it. If you have, maybe put in a comment, I watched to the end, I made it, I'm a survivor, whatever the case may be. Anyway, I really appreciate all of your support. Continue watching to see as I grow my skills with YouTube and color grading, and maybe the next one you watch will be super cinematic and you won't believe that little old me was the one who created it. Only time will tell, and that's what makes life exciting. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next one.